So yesterday I was listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger's book called Be Useful. Be Useful. I will tell you, it was a really entertaining book. The audiobook was, he gives it, very entertaining, very motivating, but also a lot of lessons were provided and shared as well during this book. So we're not going to do content. Obviously, you can all tell by looking at me, I'm not a bodybuilder. But with that said, I think I'm 150 wet today. But with that said, a lot of good stories. And so one story he told about was when he was at his prime and he was Mr. Olympia, I think it's called, and he was winning all these contests. He went to the United States and he went up against this guy named Frank Zane, who was like 50 pounds lighter than him. And Frank Zane beat him on Mr. Olympia. And he went back to his room and he cried for days. And he finally called Frank Zane and said, I want you to train me. I mean, think about that. Mr. Olympia going to some guy and saying, I want you to help me. But the thing that Frank told him was, and this we're getting the story, is the reason he lost the competition was that Arnold Schwarzenegger had these 22-inch biceps, which is a huge bicep, but his calves were puny. That's why he lost, because symmetrically, he didn't look right. He didn't look like he was a full bodybuilder. And Zane was symmetrically better than him, and therefore he lost. So why did I tell you that story? Because this is what Schwarzenegger did next. He took all his, and he used to just work out, what he used to do beforehand, he would always work out in sweatpants and a tank top, and all he cared about was how he looked from the waist up. That's all he cared about. And that's how he worked out. But when he learned why he lost, he took all his sweatpants and he cut them all off at the knees. So every day he would have to see his calves. Every day, he said, every day I'm going to look at my calves. I'm going to look at what is my deficiency, and I'm going to work on that. And from that, I will never lose again. And the fact was, after he figured it out, and after Frank Zane, who actually beat him and agreed to train him, he didn't lose again. And Zane always lost to him going after that period. So what he did was, he said, I'm going to cut off all my sweatpants from the knee down. I'm doing all of it. And that's all he did. He cut off the sweatpants. I mean, that's the thing, to see his deficiency is what led him to become a better bodybuilder, pure and simple. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do during our breakout session today. I want you all to think about your brokerage practice, right? You all have big pecs, big biceps, I don't know, triceps, right? Thin waists. But some of you have terrible calves. You do. And you know you do. You just do. And you're not paying attention to it. Now, I'm looking at this group of folks here. None of them are bodybuilders, I don't think. But look, we got to look at our calves. We do. I know our calf at Massimo today, our biggest weak spot is my sales team. And that they're doing fine, but they could be so much better. That's my calf. It is. That's Massimo's calf muscle. It's our sales team. So I'm focusing on that now. What's your weak spot in your brokerage? What is it? I'll give you some choices, okay? Let's go with the basic 5. Let's go start with 5. Is it your prospecting? Is it your presence? Is it your partners, your team? Is it your pitch, your presentations? Is it your production, how you spend your time? If those are your 5 major body parts, right? Again, do it again. Prospecting, presence, partners, pitch, productivity. Those are your 5 major brokerage body parts. Where is your weak link? Where are your calves?